What happens to new cars that never get sold? It's one of the most common questions I get asked on this channel is what are these dealerships going to do? They have 2023s and even some 2022s that have been sitting around for years. On their lot, rot lot is a big issue right now with these dealerships. I mean, some of them have been sitting for 6, 7, 800 days. But first, you have to realize who's responsible for it. It is the dealership because they accept the allocation from the manufacturer, which is the opportunity to purchase the vehicle. They purchase it from the manufacturer with something called a floor plan most of the time, which is the dealership financing. That's how they're actually able to buy millions and millions of dollars of inventory and ship it to their lot. But that gives them more time because normally it's 60 or 90 days with low or no interest, so that gives them a little bit more time for them to sit there with the car. Their goal is to sell it in that first 90 days, but if they don't, which in these situations they're obviously not, they have to start making payments and interest on the car, so it just costs the dealership more for the vehicles to sit there. After a few years, the vehicle will be paid off if they're making their floor plan payments. And they're going to be in the vehicle more because they ended up paying interest over time on that vehicle, so it costs the dealership even more. But what are they going to do to actually sell the thing? Well, one of the first things you would think they would do was discount it, but no, they try a bunch of stuff before that. They try something called a spiff, which is like a salesman bonus. They want to give the salesman like a $500 or $1,000 bonus. That way, anytime a customer comes in, they say, this is the car. You pull it up no matter what. So the customer's not even looking at that kind of car, but he's like, hey, we got to pull this one up. There's a spiff on it. But you would think they would just discount the dang thing properly, and that's what they're starting to do. I'm seeing discounts on 22s and 23s, pretty big, but still 10 to 20,000 off. It's not enough. If they would have just done that in the first place, they probably would have sold it 2 years ago. But another option they have is actually sending it to a dealer-only auction. Now, this is where they can sell it very quickly, and it's almost guaranteed to sell. It's just at what price. They can lose a lot of money sending that new car to a dealer-only auction. And they lose out on finance, which is where they can make a lot of money. So they can lose money on the front-end gross on a brand new car being sold on their lot, but then they bring the customer back to the finance box and they sell all the warranties and all this extra stuff where they make a lot of profit. They don't get any of that at the dealer-only auction, but it is a quick, guaranteed sell that they have as an option. And yes, brand new cars are showing up more now than ever at dealer-only auctions. It's pretty crazy that that's actually happening, but they don't have any other options when their floor plan is so flooded and they need to get cash flooding in. Another option they have is actually using it as a service loaner vehicle, so it's actually a very common thing. If they start getting older inventory, let's just use it as a service loaner. A lot of times the manufacturer actually starts sending them a check for that vehicle to be in the service loaner program. So it's a win-win because whenever they go to sell it, it will have some miles and they can go ahead and think, oh, it's okay to give a bigger discount. And trust me, most brands right now need a lot of service loaners because of all the issues they're having. People are buying brand new $100,000 vehicles, then it breaks down. I mean, you need to have a service loaner when you're selling those kinds of vehicles. And a lot of times, those are the ones that get stuck are the higher trim level, more expensive vehicles sometimes because they're so dang expensive. Of course, no one ended up buying it. So another option is the management staff at the dealership could actually use it as their personal loaner vehicle. If you didn't know, most management staffs at dealerships end up getting loaner vehicles. And it used to be salespeople back in the day. It was everybody, but not anymore because of the rising cost of insurance. And they could even do something called a dealership trade. So that's where they actually trade vehicles with another dealership. So it will just simply be the same kind of dealership trading to the other dealership. That simple. It is pretty common for them to do that, but the other dealership knows how long they've had that vehicle and they know it's an older vehicle that's been sitting for a while. So that's another way they're able to get rid of these old vehicles that are not selling on their lots. So from either offering a spiff to their salespeople to sending it to a dealer-only auction, using it as a service loaner, or just trading it with a completely different dealership to try to get rid of it. Those are some options, but you would think they would just discount the vehicle properly from the first place. But most dealerships just simply don't understand that. They cannot understand what the market wants right now. They're so used to a few years ago with all the market adjustments and crazy add-ons that they can't get over it. And some dealers are still doing that today. And those are the ones that generally have the most old inventory sitting on their lots. A lot of them play games. They have something called an internet price or a lot price. So you have the internet price that gets you in, but then when you get to the lot, it's a completely different price. These are the kinds of games that some dealerships play, and it's no wonder why they have old inventory. But sometimes it can simply be the market that you're in with that kind of vehicle. It just doesn't sell in the market. There's a lot of that going on right now, especially with the super expensive, overpriced vehicles. And then you think about, even if you get a good deal on one of these vehicles that's been sitting for 2 years, what about the quality of it? It's not good for a vehicle to be sitting and not driven. That's one of the worst things for a vehicle. It's going to be outside for 2 to 3 years and probably very rarely driven at all. The original oil could be 3 years old from the factory. That's pretty dang crazy. Hopefully these dealerships are keeping maintenance on these vehicles that are just sitting there for years. You have to be careful if you are looking at buying one of these vehicles. You might be able to get a bigger discount, but be careful. Let me know what you guys think. So dealerships have a few options: offering the spiff, sending it to an auction, or using it as a service loaner, or just discount the thing properly. Let me know what you guys think about what happens to new cars that never get sold. Have a great day and stay blessed.